I think
I don't want to forget it.
before.
Okay, I'll do it after call to order. And hey, Paisley, can you help me remember to keep that on our minutes? Because somehow it disappeared in the last few and I.
Sorry, what are you missing?
Public comment on our agenda. And we used to have it and then I didn't.
I don't think that's ever been on there, but I can add it.
Oh. Well,
yeah, it should be on.
Yeah, I thought it always was. And then I just hadn't seen it the last two and I forgot it one time and I asked and I had to.
Yeah, I think we just do that with the guests, but.
Yeah, it's a state law that you have to have a public comment on the items that are.
I'll certainly add it.
You got it. Yep.
So, so let's maybe right after call to order.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Cool. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, James. Who's muted?
Hello.
How are you?
Doing well.
Great. So you guys are lucky. I've been having my puppy here every afternoon at the office with me, but today, not today. I got a new puppy. He sometimes gets very vocal and decides that he wants to contribute.
How old is he?
With 10 weeks, we just rescued him.
Oh.
There were in southern Idaho, apparently a hoarder. They had over 50 dogs in not a very good situation. And the Pyrenees ended up here. I haven't changed. And so I ended up with a chunky monkey baby boy. He is huge.
Well, somebody has a bone here.
Oh my gosh. Do you remember when you and I took our dogs to the same kennel in Frenchtown?
Right.
Does she still do it?
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. No.
Where do you go now?
I have somebody come to my house.
Oh. That's
my last
perfect.
dog is diabetic and we haven't left this one yet. She doesn't know what it's like for mom and dad to go on vacation yet. So.
How old is she?
She'll be a year in. So she's pretty good though. She's very quiet. She's just kind of noisy. I gave her a bone that she really likes. And so
well, I'm amazed at how I've named mine Coda, and I'm amazed at how smart he is already. At 10 weeks, he will sit, he will down. He's not really good at leave it, but we're working on it. And he's so handsome.
They do learn fast, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the bad habits as well as the good.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast they figure out how to outsmart you.
And keep away. I'm telling you, they get something in their mouth and they know you're going to come and get it and poof, they're gone like greased lightning. Hi, Dennis.
Hi, Dennis. Hi, James.
Dennis, you're muted. Okay. Hey, James. Have you been talking with Ben at all?
Not relative to, not very much.
Okay.
Relative to that project.
And Anthony Charlie is here. Hello, Anthony. I guess. No, I have to turn my earpiece off so I'm not bugged. Why? Why does everyone have their videos off? Can we have everyone turn their video on? Please. Great, one by one. One, two, three, four. Lisa, hi Lise. Oh, she's not there yet. Hi Heidi.
Sorry, I had to kick some kids out of my house.
Oh,
Not mine, running around.
one, two, three, four, five. Hi Lisa. Danny, yay, Danny. Wait, maybe another minute before we get going. Can we get everyone to turn their video on if possible, please? One, two, three, four. Anthony, you're sideways. Oh, now you're not. Paisley, are you there? And hi, Danny. Cool. I'm trying to resend the link to Greg. What? Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Paisley, Greg will not be able to attend the meeting today.
Greg Twig.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking Greg Martin.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. For the dial-in, I'm going to read the numbers via cell 253-215-8782, 213-338-8477, 267-831-0333, and if you are using a landline, 833-548-0282, 877-853-5257, 888-475-4499, and 833-548-0276. Our webinar ID is 869-2489-9859, and the passcode is 574069. So we hope that individuals who would like to join us can. We do have, as part of our public comment, a guest, Anthony Charlie, who is going to be joining us here. Anthony is on Zoom. Anthony is working on a project, Dreamcatcher Door, My Miles in Moccasins. And Anthony, I'm going to hand it right over to you so you can tell us about your project and tell us what you're interested in and how the Public Art Committee can or how you would like the Public Art Committee involved. Are you still there, Anthony? I am not. Yeah. So Anthony, can you unmute yourself? Great. There you are.
Hey, public meeting, it's a little awkward, but let's see. So my miles and Marcus is I really need the community to be the community that makes this and goes with this. I don't know how to, well, I kind of do know how to transplant, but it needs to be a community thing, you know what I mean? This is not, I'm not always going to be here, you know what I mean? And because we're none of us are getting out of this life alive, you know what I mean? And that's just the truth of it. So, and if our growth collectively as humans and as life grows, then we'll be walking ancestors, you know what I mean? We're walking ancestors now because we believe that we're going to pass the bundle of life in a positive way. And that's really just, I guess, call it a portal, you know what I mean? From how far is the world of disbelief and impossible to the world of belief and possible? I mean, how far is those two worlds? You know what I mean? Like the yin and yang, the thin line that, you know what I mean? They're like, but there's the doorway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just gotta a community just saying, hey, you can do this. We could be like bees and pollinate the world all around us, not as in.
So Anthony, could we take a step back because not all of the committee knows what you are trying to do as an art project? Could you maybe give us an overview?
Well, so much, you know what I mean? There's 4 doors, 4 different locations, 4 directions. I mean, it's the day before Mother's Day till the day after Father's Day because some mothers start early and some fathers start late.
Mm-hmm. And what are the locations you're thinking of?
In the Minnesota on Sky Street in Tool, Hope Playground and Franklin and Lions Park.
So Scott and Tool, Franklin Park.
Yeah, Hope, Franklin, and Lions Park.
Lions Park. And I missed the 4th one.
Lions. Over there by the Indian Center.
Okay.
What is that? Central? Yeah, I think it's Central.
And what are you looking for from the Public Art Committee?
Well, there's supplies, you know what I mean? And what I'm really looking just for the community to be able to, I need 400 feet. That's why it's like the community needs to do like the committee work too. Like, so there's supplies. I need 32 willows, but that's why the community needs to be doing this. This is a community thing, you know, and so I kind of 400 feet of each color of the medicine wheel, and
Can you describe the kind of art that you're going to do? Maybe I missed something, or maybe you have an image of it. Is it painting? Is it sculpture?
I don't know what you'd label it.
Is it 3D or 2D? Is it?
Or you're definitely walking through these doors. You know what I mean? There's 4 steps to them. Yes.
Okay, so it's an installation of something that people interact with in a 3D space.
I feel like my work hasn't been being heard right now. Like I haven't been like like I've been telling everybody. Like I've made videos, everything. Like it's just kind of I'm feeling, but
There, Anthony, is there a way Paisley could bring up one of your videos so we could have a better idea of what you're doing? Because we did not know you had videos of your work.
yeah, Facebook.
Okay. Paisley, is it possible for you to pull up a quick image? Oh, okay. So have you, as far as working with the Parks Department, have you talked to them about doing an installation in the park? And have you worked with people in all of these locations? As for getting permission to do the installations?
Yeah. Yeah, for like ever.
Oh, okay. So the Parks Department has said that, I mean, you have permission to do your installation pieces. So,
Yes.
okay.
They haven't told me no.
And you would like, these need to be installed by Mother's Day. And so what you're
The
at,
day before Mother's Day.
or before Mother's Day. So you're asking for assistance to get lumber for the doors and for the frames and to build the stairs. Is that, am I understanding?
Let's see how. You know, I got one guy a little stone there. Let me see.
Or are you,
I just be walking around. This is me, Scott Charlie. Boom, boom, boom. You see me, I'm walking around, guys. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like a community thing. So I'll just be walking around. You guys, if you guys are interested, you'll see me. You know what I mean? I'm walking around trying to explain this stuff all the time. Because it's a community thing. You know what I mean? This needs to be real life, hands on. You know what I mean? People will seeing it so they could kind of because.
Anthony, I'm wondering if we might, maybe myself or a couple of the Public Art Committee members could sit down with you after this meeting and see if there's ways that we can help you facilitate the project. If the committee so desires.
Okay.
But what does everybody think about that?
That sounds like a better idea. This is a weird format. Zoom is a strange format to be introduced to a person's work. It would all be much clearer if we could see it and see your vision for it.
Could you, Anthony, we could email you, or you could perhaps after this, give Paisley your phone number, and we can maybe coordinate small gathering for next week, so you could give us some more detailed information and we could meet in one of the locations. Will that work for you?
Yeah. Right now, like yeah, it would, because it's just kind of more like, all right, yeah.
Okay.
But this is a community. I'm talking to the community right now, so I gotta. Yeah. So, like I talk off little tangents there. You know what I mean? But we are walking ancestors. You know what I mean? We are still in this. We're, we're like a timestamp. We are in life, and we're in a space age, and there's lots of dangers with the space age, because like if we're sending all the resources out, you know what I mean? We gotta. So more life just makes, it's just, it's a bundle. It's a wonderful bundle that we're passing on, and that's kind of cool.
Mhm. Well, why don't you and I and Paisley will coordinate after this meeting? And is there any other committee members who would like to sit down with us next week? We can, well, why don't Paisley and I will email everyone, and hopefully all of you
Oh yeah.
could contribute. How does that sound? Does that work, Charlie?
Yeah. Just kind of trying to.
Will that work for you, Charlie, if we sit down next week?
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, if it's all right with you, then Paisley and I'll be in touch and we'll continue with our meeting.
yeah, but I also tattoo, so that's you know what I mean. I do tattoo, and I do stick and poke off chain, and I tool, and
Mhm.
so I'm just gotta try it. You know what I mean? There's conversation starters all over the place. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
I am trying to be productive. You know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
when we catch up and everything, then and I go pretty much the same spots, like you know. So
Okay.
those parks. But
Well,
I really don't go over to. I really don't cross over, and then yeah, I don't go over that.
okay. Well, if it's all right with you, then we'll
I need to
for
go.
next week, and
I will.
we will arrange for people to see your work or understand your work more fully. And I promise we will get in touch early next week, or actually even later this week. Today's only Tuesday. And we'll continue with our meeting, all right? Does that work?
Yeah,
Okay,
community, but this is on the community platform, right?
right.
Yeah, so we're kind of like Black Cloud, you know what I mean? We're dug in, we're doing this, you know what I mean? It's like we're trying to secure. Well, there's so much to it.
Well,
It's pretty cool, you know what I mean? Like because like if we can secure a self-sustaining ecosystems that biodiverse and it just keeps our creativity going, you know what I mean? And how they're going to
You're
control the
absolutely right.
creativity. That's what karma is, you know what I mean? Thinking 7 generations ahead, you know what I mean? You got to think 7 generations ahead, you know what I mean? Or as many generations as you can. If you can only see the next, you know what I mean? You're still passing on, you know, until.
Okay. We're,
So
as I mentioned,
if we work together as a team, and as a community, as a tribe, you know what I mean? Then if there's a future to pass the bundle of life on to, then you know what I mean?
yep. We are going to continue on with our minutes, and then again, Paisley and I'll be in touch. So if what we're going to do now is the committee will regather and we'll look at the minutes from March. And has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? Do we have any corrections to the minutes? If you want, and feel free to unmute yourselves. And my apologies if there were any mistakes and if they were too long, but I was trying to type and do the meeting at the same time. So hopefully they were good. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes from someone? Can we unmute yourselves so we have a verbiage?
I motion to accept the March minutes.
Thanks, Lisa. And we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, James. Motion has been seconded. All in favor? Raise your hands or say aye. Great. Great. Next item on the agenda is the budget. I've asked Paisley, just so we can keep track of our monies, if we would have that. We have nothing that's changed from last month. However, we have no updated budget from Lee Griffin. I do just want to throw out that I have worked with the Grant Creek neighborhood. We will have $1,800 coming into the budget to replace 2 of the signal boxes that were removed by the highway department. So we'll be seeing those monies come in, and also we will be seeing hopefully some grant monies come in. I worked with the neighborhoods to put together a grant proposal. So hopefully we'll have the 1,800 you'll be seeing in next month's budget, hard copy, and then hopefully the other will be in by the end of May. So, but I just think it's important that we try to keep on top of our money and see what's coming in, any donations, and what we have going out. Next item on the agenda, the signal box project. Again, I've worked with the Grand Creek neighborhood to put together grant proposal. We've got a request out there for $6,000 for traffic signal boxes. Also, we have put together some requests to 2 private donors for another $3,000 for the signal boxes. We won't know about that probably for another couple weeks, but you know, we are running out of signal boxes. So unless the highway department decides to replace some more, after replacing the ones on North Reserve, Broadway and Van Buren, and Broadway and Russell, I think there's 2 left after that. So quick update there. Any questions on signal boxes or any of that? With the monies coming in May for the signal boxes are being approved with the grant process, it's going to be a tightened schedule this year. And, you know, as with anything we've got going, any kind of selection committee, all of that, hopefully things will loosen up so we'll be able to meet in person for this and any other future projects, because it's hard, as you all know, to be doing any kind of selection when we don't see the actual pieces or get to meet with the artists and talk to the artists and those kind of things. So hopefully things will be loosening up, so we'll be able to move forward on some of that.
Do you have an idea of, so if the signal box project runs out, are we starting to conceptualize some other sort of emerging artist projects? Or will we just hold until we have more signal boxes that come up?
You know, I think what was exciting about last month is Ben's, the third Mural project, and how they'd like to do something more there. You know, I think the book's wide open there for anything that the committee could think of to do.
We had talked in the past of having, trying to start some sort of apprentice process where if there's a mural, we can pay for emerging artists to apprentice a muralist. And that might be
I think that's
something to do with that money that went for signal boxes. I mean, it would keep that being that sort of super populist kind of.
No, I think that's a great idea. I mean, there's never been any direct money for signal boxes other than, frankly, what I've raised, but there's no reason why one can't raise money for that, the apprentice mural project or any apprentice visual arts project or performing arts project or whatever we decide that is appropriate. I think that's a great idea. And there's also, I think with that too, Lisa, there's ways we may tag team with some national projects and national monies. So we'll keep that on the agenda. No, I think that's a great idea. And if you can think of anything that one that we could do as a committee and work towards as a whole that would give established artists, new and others, similar to the Signal project. Obviously that, you know, if we need to raise, maybe it's just one project a year, apprentice project, and we might raise more money. But anything that you can think of, I mean, the door's wide open. You know, one of the things I thought of, or well, not me, but I just really appreciated Ben's project where we were integrating art into other aspects of life too. And there's nothing to say that we can't do both. So if anybody has any ideas, bring them to the table.
I was just going to mention we might look into the traffic circles, the lower infrastructure traffic circles. I don't know what they're called. Because I am trying to, you know, fund those, have them be public art pieces. So we'll just work with intersections.
Exactly. Well, and that's, you know, that again, bringing public art into a non-traditional means. When they were working on the Tool and Spruce traffic circle, the highway department came to us, and that one ended up being pretty short notice, but it's one of those, and help me if I'm wrong, Heidi, you're thinking about the traffic circles that are flatter, and I guess they wouldn't have to be, but we have so many of them in town that it could be a great opportunity for some public art in those.
Oh my God, I just made it in.
Hey, Greg, welcome.
Sorry, I was there. I was there the whole time. But as I guess a YouTube participant or something like that. And just so we know, yeah, those emails went all the way to spam. I guess now I have to do something about trying to make sure that comes back. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Let's continue.
That's okay. We'll figure out how to help you with that, and so they don't spam you, or they don't go to spam.
Every day, all day long. So I've never screwed one up until now.
Oh. So we were just talking about, you know, the signal boxes. We have limited numbers left, and what I was asking committee members for ideas that could be something comparable, that could be a yearly project that we would work towards yearly, that could involve established artists, new artists. Lisa suggested a mentorship program, which could be really exciting. So anyway, everybody put their thinking caps on, because we also have our annual planning meeting coming up, and that's a great way to discuss some of those ideas as well. Lisa and Danielle, Indigenous Mural Project. I know you updated us last month. Anything new on that front?
Have you heard anything, Danny? Yeah, me neither. It's just.
Do we want to keep it on our agenda?
No, why don't you take it off? If it comes up again, we'll.
Okay. Because I presume you two will keep in touch with maybe Downtown Association, and you're involved, Lise. So if there's any activity that happens on it, we could reintroduce it on the agenda. Does that work? Okay. Dash sculpture. Dennis, have you heard from Michael? You're muted.
Oh, I have not heard. I just emailed him today, and I have not heard anything back. He was going to do some sketches of what he had in mind, and then develop that into a kind of a 3D type of presentation, I guess, of ideas that we could look at. And we had mentioned the end of April for him to come up here and meet us and find a place for his sculpture. So I have not heard back from him, but I'll let you know when I do.
Okay. And if it happens between now and our next meeting, Dennis, we can send something out to the committee. It's already something we have committed to. But in the meantime, I mean, I doubt he's going to show, well, you never know that he's going to show up spur of the moment. So
Yeah,
we can keep the committee appraised of everything so everybody can be as involved as they want to be in that.
yeah, if I receive anything, I can send it out on email.
Okay. Perfect. Pack Live, Stony is not here. We have our update from last meeting and involving some other groups, but we'll just go beyond that because I don't have an update unless she's communicated with anyone else on it. So we'll have an update on that next month. Mountain Line Mural. Not much to update other than that it is in progress and should be finished by mid-April, which is exciting. We will work with the Missoula Urban Transportation District on recognizing the art and probably doing some event around that. They're taking the lead, but as soon as I hear anything, we'll pass it on, or if Paisley hears anything, we'll pass it on to everybody. So once again, everybody can be as involved as possible with that. It'll be an exciting addition to the transfer center. So next agenda item, the annual planning meeting. Has anyone talked with anyone about being a possible moderator for our planning meeting? I will say I did mention it to Peter Lambros, and Peter said he would be, if the committee wanted him to, he would be happy to moderate the planning meeting for us as a third party so that everybody could participate. What are everyone's thoughts on that? And has anyone thought of another individual that could work with us on that?
Do we have dates yet?
No specific date. We were looking at June. If I'm remembering correctly, I want to look at the last minutes.
Because everyone's summer starts filling up pretty fast.
Yeah.
Can you describe to me what this looks like, just as a newcomer?
Sure. We have, on the back of the agenda, and unfortunately, it's from a few years ago. We've looked at past, present, and future goals for the committee, things we would like to accomplish, projects we would like to accomplish, where we would like to see the committee going, and broad range of topics. We're going to be talking about one of them towards the end of the agenda, just because I think it's going to take more time to discuss that. But one of the things, staffing, how we see the committee grow, how we see our influence in the things we can do in the community, small projects, large projects, essentially a year. Well, in the past, they've been multi-year, short-term, long-term projects, and setting goals to reach those. In 2 hours, Greg.
2 hours. That's wild.
So we had talked about meeting at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and looked like, if I'm remembering, and everybody help me if I'm not remembering correctly, in June, probably early June, so that we can use it as a guide, because the next fiscal year starts in July. So that way we can at least have something going for our next fiscal year. Am I remembering correctly, everyone, on June, or did we decide on May? We'll say June then.
June seems like it's more of an appropriate time frame to pull some stuff together. I cannot I can't volunteer as a moderator at this thing, but I will definitely be present and
Yeah.
help however I can.
Peter has been a past chair. He's been, and you know, we could afford to pay someone a modest fee. We had talked about maybe Kia, and I have not heard back from her if she can or cannot do it. And members of the committee were going to be thinking of people that could actually, that might possibly be able to do that. So.
I like the idea of a former board member doing it because I mean, we have so many new people that just bringing a sense of history to the founding ideas of the committee would probably be a nice perspective.
So Kia was a former member?
Uh-huh.
Great.
But not long. She didn't do.
No, not long. You're right.
Okay.
But Peter was for a long time, right?
He was on the board for, or on the committee rather, for a long time. Past chair for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And
I remember
also
I
like
took Kia's seat.
I like the idea, as you said, Lisa, too, of somebody who understanding kind of from whence we came, but also public art in general, and who has that understanding. So as I said, he's willing to do it. So if you all will concur, I'd be happy to get back to him and ask him, and we can finalize a date in June.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I motion we ask Peter.
Cool. Second?
Second.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Cool. Well, we asked him. I'll ask him to confirm, and then
Let's find a date.
yes. So I'm going to look. I'm looking at June right now. Thursdays. How are Thursdays for everybody? We do have our general meeting. We could do it in place of our general meeting on the 15th, which is the third Tuesday.
And what time during the day are you talking about, Kathy?
We have done them from 4 to 6 in the past, or 5 to 7.
Yeah,
the
I'm
last
fine.
2 years.
I'm fine with Thursdays during that time.
How about everybody else?
And I do think a little longer is better than just
Cool.
2 hours.
Good.
I mean, because the one that we had a couple years, I think it was 2 years ago, where we brought food and wine and had a little break. I mean, it was one of the few times I got to talk to people on the committee.
Cool.
Where
What?
we were just responding to issues, but actually got to chat with each other.
Yeah, great idea. So would we like to replace our June meeting with the annual meeting, which would be the 15th, and maybe say 4 to 7? We can find a location for that. We've done it at Stockman Bank before. We've done it on the top floor of the First Interstate Bank building. We've done it at Children's Theater. So I'll work on a location if we're all in agreement on the 15th.
I
just got
That
my
work?
second vaccine yesterday,
Uh-huh.
so I'm game for it. And I can't even describe the headache that I currently have right now. So I'm going to try to make sure I focus and that we're good.
Yeah.
Well, I will double check with Marty and with the city to make sure we can meet in person. I'm hoping we can by then. I really am. Heidi, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say, was to check with her. I think part of the discussion last time was to have it later in the summer, or I mean, like, not May, but June, with the hope of meeting in person. And I know the county is about to lift restrictions, or that's what I keep hearing. So maybe.
Yeah, I heard May 11th, the mask mandate is.
Yeah. I so miss seeing you all in person and seeing everybody in person for meetings.
Yeah. We have a 4-H chicken meeting, but I'll just take my husband on it if we're meeting later.
Don't be such a chicken.
Yeah. And then what we'll do is we've brought treats. So that kind of helps tide us over. But they've really been great, and we've had some good discussions about past, present, and future, and how we can increase our role in the community and different types of projects we can do. So perfect.
That sounds great.
Cool. Next thing, item number 11, Rattlesnake Neighborhood Sound Wall. That it is still very much in the planning stages. And this is an invitation to anyone else on the committee. Friday morning, Steve Felix got back to Beth Judy and I. He would like to walk the sound wall, or walk the lower Rattlesnake, and look at the wall and essentially line out to the Rattlesnake neighborhoods about really what can and can't be done. In one of our discussions, people threw out ideas about attaching things to the sound wall. Well, it appears right now that is not possible, that nothing can be drilled into the sound wall or hung from the sound wall. So we don't know where that will go. It's an incredible distance, as most of you know, if you've seen the sound wall on the freeway portion of it.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
It's a stretch.
Yeah.
And they were looking at various images on the whole thing, and they really were thinking of things on the wall. I don't know that that's going to be able to be done, but Friday morning at 9 a.m. Steve will be, and I've forgotten Beth Judy's address. I believe it's 119 Vine, but I will get that address to Paisley and she can send it out. And truly, if anyone is interested, please join us, because it could be a very cool project.
Hey, Kathy, can you just send maybe an email with a little update about that time and location? I would love to pop over there. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Get me out of my house.
Yeah, I will make sure Paisley has it all, and she can send it out to everyone too.
Now,
Pardon?
Was there a presentation on this project?
No, because, well, a few months ago.
Oh, okay. Because
I'm sorry.
Beth Judy was talking to me about it, and I don't know if it happened on a month that I was not here. I think
it happened before Courtney left.
Okay.
When we had it, so it's been a few months.
Okay.
And Courtney was working with her, and then when she left, I said I would, because it's still very preliminary, and they don't really, I mean, there really isn't a solid idea yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as my understanding is that we as a committee made said we would work with them and help them figure out something, and then they could bring the idea to the committee and we could all flesh it together. So that's why I keep saying this is preliminary.
Okay.
We don't even know what can be done yet.
Okay.
But that'll be Friday morning. Now, this has been on the agenda for a couple of months, but we just received this week the image. Little background on it. 111 West Broadway is what used to be known as the Allegra building. It's the southwest corner of Broadway and Higgins. I think most of you, except James and Greg, know that the city, we have a perpetual easement on that wall for public art. And Hadley Ferguson's paintings are on that wall, the group of historic Missoula photos called Heart of Missoula.
Yep.
The things that we've always been very careful about is any signage that is attached to that building to ensure that it does not interfere with the art, and also worked with the businesses so that they could have appropriate signage. In the past, there have been, there's actually two possible locations for businesses on that Broadway side of the building where the artwork is. And in the past, one of them had an awning above the door with their name on it. We have one currently there that I forget the name of it. It is a cycling business. They actually have a sign perpendicular to the wall. And now there is a new tenant, and I'm going to ask Paisley if she would share it for everyone to see. It's a cryo business. And what you're seeing on the screen now is the location. You'll see Hadley's paintings. And then you'll see, obviously, the front. We've never put any restrictions of signage on the windows or said that that would interfere. So you'll see that what they've got is their signage on the window. And then they have the sign perpendicular coming out above the doorway. And in order for them to get their sign approval, because it's an easement, perpetual easement for art on this wall, the Public Art Committee needs to approve the signage. And I can tell you the measurements for the signage are, it actually extends almost 3 feet from the wall. So it's 30 inches is the length from the wall. The sign diameter is 25 inches. And the mounting plate, which you can see it goes up the center there, but between the door and the window, is 3 inches by 18 inches. So,
do we know anything about that mounting plate? Like, is it just a couple of bolts that hold it in, or is it going to damage? I mean, nothing has lasted in that spot for more than 8 months. So if that place moves in less than a year, are there going to be big bolt holes in the wall?
Well, this goes on to the owners of the buildings and what they have in their lease. And again, now this is Kathy Realtor, commercial realtor, saying that I had never seen a commercial lease where if people remove their signage or do anything that they don't have to repair it and bring it back to what it was before. I would presume, knowing who owns this building and the leasing agency, I know their other leases have that in there. And I guess the only thing I am unsure of is if that height, the sign diameter of 25 inches impedes or has any negative effect on the artwork above it. And I'm not saying it does or doesn't. It's just one of the things I've noticed.
I don't think it does.
I have a tape measure in front of my face right now. And I'm looking at 25 inches, and then how far off the wall were you saying it's going to be?
It is that 30 inches from the wall.
From the center?
So 3 feet. So it's, yes, 30 inches from the wall.
So, but you're saying that was the center of that, right? So it's 3 feet to the center of the circular.
No, to the edge, to the outside edge.
Oh, it's 3 feet, and then once 3 feet hits, then you have your 25-inch circle.
No. I think, the whole sign from the bracket to that edge that is above the sidewalk.
Yeah.
30 inches.
Oh, well, that's not really much at all.
No,
and
not obtrusive.
it really does look like a slim, slick design. And I really don't imagine that being something that would take away from the lovely dynamics of Hadley's work. I think that the fact that it sticks laterally out, perpendicular from the wall, and isn't something that has parallel signage to it. I think that works in everyone's favor. It calls it out if you're walking on the sidewalk. It does not distract from the lovely work that she did if you're passing by. As far as like the impact that goes into the stone, yeah, that is something that I think that you probably have to have a conversation with the owners of the building and stuff. But I mean, you can patch holes super easy.
Yeah. And again, I mean, I work with the owners in my other life. So I know that's part of their agreement with them, that they would have to repair it and paint it and turn it back to normal. The only thing my initial thought, and again, I agree with all of you, is I understand why they would want it in the center. And then I thought, well, what if it was moved over to the right or the west side of the door? But it's probably half a dozen of one, six of another.
Yeah. So what I don't see in the picture that's up right now is, does that mural kind of end right at that same edge as the doorway? Yeah, then I mean, just my type A wants to go towards that edge, which would be lovely for everybody, right? It doesn't intercept the center of that art piece. It does still pertain to the entryway to that business, and it's kind of like a starting point to the work, as opposed to being an interruption to the middle of that work.
Well, how does everyone else feel? Comments?
I don't think that, I mean, small businesses have to jump through a ton of hoops. And I don't think that this one, and he's clearly thought about the design of his storefront. And I'm not sure that there's enough obstruction for us to interfere with his design. I mean, I think you have to give small businesses their latitude. I mean, Hadley's murals are all about commerce in downtown. So they're a testament to commerce. So I always kind of think that the commerce can fit in with them pretty nicely. And I think that this is pretty streamlined, and I don't want to give this guy too much of a hard time.
I suppose the other thing is, like, where's power, right? If they're,
well, it's not backlit. It's not
that has no. Okay, that's great. My vote would be to pump it towards the edge, the vertical edge of where the side of the door and Hadley's painting starts, but it's not too intrusive in the middle either. I guess it is right in the middle of that doorway and the window, so that has some nice verticality to it. But then scrap what I said. That's good where it's at.
Yeah, I don't think it pops up into the painting at all either. I think it's in between the doorway and the painting. So I think that.
Yeah, I like it where it is. Just if you think of how the door swings, it swings open in that direction. And there might be some, I mean, maybe not, but there might be some structural reason why it's anchored there too, depending on like what the header or, what the bones are in the building.
I'm also looking in street view, and it seems like east of the doorway, there's a mural with a lower height. So you may create more obstruction on the side rather than straight centered. I'm not sure if anybody can see this. Probably not enough definition, but both east and west of the window framings and door framings, there's murals that come down lower that may be obstructed by the signs being in either direction.
Well, then it looks like a good match.
Yeah. Can any other comments? Could we entertain a motion? Thanks, Paisley, for doing that. Can we entertain a motion to approve the signage and location? From someone?
Motion to approve
Great.
As pres-
signage in its current presented
Cool.
location.
Second?
Second.
I'll second.
Oh, wait, who made the motion? Greg, I thought you made the motion.
Whatever. Dennis, you go ahead.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay. Greg motion, Dennis second. It's been moved and seconded. Any additional discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hands? Opposed? Perfect. I will let the business owner know that we have approved it, and that is good. We are zooming through the meeting only because we have some exciting things coming up. Public art guide. Moving forward, Missoulian is working on it. This is the 15th annual guide. They are selling advertising. It is my understanding from conversations with Jackie and Tony LeBlanc that everything is going well on the advertising front. The guide will be essentially the same format. They always try to improve the maps, make them a little clearer. But again, if anyone knows of any public art, we've talked about different things like the grizzly bear down at Boone and Crockett. We're going to be able to fit that back in. There's the pieces on the building where Vera Donuts is. If anybody knows of any art in public places, not on private property or not on residential property, but commercial properties or whatever, please email me so we don't miss anything, because if we can fit it in, we will. Lise, we also, because LA is so exciting, we are putting that in again. If you want to amend that narrative, could you email, or Lillian email me something for that?
I think that would be Lily. I'm
Oh,
not.
okay.
We were involved at the beginning of it, but Lily,
Oh.
we hired Lily as the
Okay.
program director, so I'm not really involved anymore.
Okay, cool. I will email her, and she approved last year's, and I think, yeah, we'll just make sure that it's updated for this year.
Okay. You know, Radius just put in a bunch of art into the AC Hotel. And that is now public. I mean, that's a public bar, and it's going to have a rooftop bar as well. And you just go past all this pretty amazing art. I mean, big pieces. And we got some rock star art in there.
Cool.
And ceramics, for which Montana is known. It always has bothered me that we don't have much ceramics art around here when we are known as the ceramics innovators.
Particularly when we have the Archie Bray.
So we got 2 major ceramic pieces in there.
Cool. Can I talk about that and we'll put something together?
Sure.
Perfect. And truly, if anyone sees anything that we've missed, the guide will come out probably right around Memorial Day, etc. So it's exciting. 15 years in a row, and the Missoulian is still willing to continue to do it.
Well, they do get paid.
Well, I know, but it's a little more than break even. But, you know, again, we are, well, not during COVID years, but we were one of the top, and continue to be one of the top brochures picked up in many places. So that's good. Greg, you had something?
Yeah, Kathy, we talked about this at our last meeting about the potential of something for there to be like a kids treasure hunt or scavenger hunt for things like that. We never followed up on it, and that could definitely be part of my fault. So I apologize. Is it probably too late for something like that?
It is not too late, and I actually mentioned it to the Missoulian, and you're right, we have not gotten together, but can you and I get together and you could kind of devise something, because I mentioned it to them and there is an opportunity to do something still.
Yeah, it sounds really fun, and I think that it's a great way to keep us, you know, connected to the families and especially the youth here, right? I Heidi, did you have something to say?
Oh, I was just wondering what the deadlines are and then when it's published. Like, what's the timeline?
Good question.
It is, we're coming up onto the deadline and it'll head to the printer. I believe it's the third week of May because they're still working on some ads. So we still have time to do some.
Oh, that's good. That's doable.
And they're still selling ads.
You know, I think the tricky thing with this is like, how do you portray the hunt, right? Or what does that look like? And how many pages might it take up? I would imagine it'd be great for a centerfold or an insert or something like that that can be torn out or whatever. But you got to get a little wordy with it, right? Because you want to make it be something where there are good hints and things about finding something that looks a certain way, or is it like we talked about last time, the silhouette, or we have a lot of options. So why don't we meet up either at the end of this week or early next week and see what that looks like? And I can definitely work.
Let's do the end of this week before this week ends.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
And if anyone wants to help, raise your hand because it could be fun. Okay, Heidi, you're in.
Yeah, send me an invite. Yeah, and then I think one thing is we'll probably have to contain it to a geographic region too. Like if you're thinking of like someone coming to visit Missoula or whatever.
And we might have to keep it simpler this year and expand on it next year.
See how it goes. And
yeah.
I was just going to mention I'm doing one of the summer pieces for Alley for Parks and Rec. And so I was hoping to put a, like the piece itself is going to have things to find in it. So I don't know if, I don't know if we want to combine those things or not.
Let's talk. Okay. Right, and see what we can do and how we could do it. Okay. I'm always open to anything. Because where there's a will, there's a way.
James has his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yes. Sorry, Kathy. I have a submission I'd like to put forward for the printing, if it's not too late to get it in, and just wanted to, I'm going to email it to you, Kathy, all the information I have on it and where it was installed. But just recently there was a forged like iron tree that was finished and installed outside of the Freestone Climbing Center. Ooh. It's on the 1200 block Shakespeare Street. It's publicly accessible, right off the sidewalk. And if it's in the region where you're doing the scavenger event, it's a really kid-friendly installation. There's a lot of things you can notice, like up in the tree and little details. And I just thought I'll send you an email later, Kathy, about the location and a little bit about the artist. He's a local metal fabricator, Nathan Kimball. And so I just wanted to mention to everyone in the committee to go take a look at it. It's really commendable work and impressive work he did on that project.
That's great. I didn't know it was there. I love.
I'll follow up with you. And
perfect.
Yeah, if there's
the Missoulian will still have time to go out and take a photo of it too.
Okay, I'll forward that to you as soon as possible.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited. I love that they still do it. So, pièce de résistance, some exciting news for conversation, and we have a hard close at 5:30 because we have to get off the Zoom line. But some of you have had some previous conversations. You'll saw that number 14 was staffing. And I guess I want to preempt this saying that as a committee throughout its history has always wanted to be bigger and better with full-fledged staff in its own department or its own division or whatever. But recently, and Tom's on the line, and Tom, maybe unmute yourself if you can. And we been preliminary conversations about a director position or manager, and for sake of simplicity, I'm going to call it a director's position in addition to a coordinator position. And, you know, this is a very mature committee. We do a lot of things, members do a lot of things. And in that maturity is a great opportunity for growth. And so Tom has talked to a few members. He talked with Courtney, and you know, it just seems like if we don't think about our growth and our future and the potential for what we can be, you know, now or never, in that kind of thing. So to that end, Heidi and Tom and I, because we were originally the mayor's select public art committee, and the mayor has been so supportive of us, did have a conversation with the mayor about the potential for adding a director's position. Nothing specific as far as, I mean, obviously maybe starting with part-time, moving to full-time, but someone that would take on the typical duties that a director would of an organization, and be responsible for moving this committee, this entity forward within the city. How it would look is still somewhat nebulous. It could be a change to our agreement with Arts Missoula and adding monies to that account, still being a separate entity. Obviously, we are an official entity of the city. It could be having the committee integrated into one of the other city departments. Tom and Heidi, step in. You know, it's a great opportunity for us if we could push something forward.
So Kathy, I should probably say, you know, I know most of you, but not all of you, and you may wonder Tom. what my purpose here is. But Arts Missoula is the nonprofit agency that partners with the city, and the coordinator position that Paisley has is funded through Arts Missoula. About 10 hours a week is devoted to public art, but she's a full-time staffer at Arts Missoula. So I'm not directly involved with the Public Art Committee, but I oversee Paisley's position with Arts Missoula, and therefore I'm very interested, obviously, in what you guys are doing, and I'm really impressed by everything that's going on. And when Courtney resigned, I had a chat with her, and essentially, you know, it was revealed to me that because this is a committee of volunteers, and so much ends up falling on the chair, that there's a big potential for burnout, and there's a potential for burnout on the committee itself and with the chair itself. And I said, well, do you think the committee could use a position that's more of an executive director? Someone is a paid position to drive a lot of these projects. And she seemed to think it was a good idea. And I had some casual conversations with some members of the committee, most of whom thought it was a good idea. So it's gotten to this stage where the committee as a whole needs to discuss this idea. So that's where I come in. This was just sort of an observer from the outside. Works with the funding of the position for the administrative coordinator.
Heidi, do you want to throw out, do you want to talk about some of your ideas in relation to this and in involvement with Office of Neighborhoods or Planning Office, or how it could be integrated more within city departments, and your thoughts?
Sorry, I have a kid
Oh,
asking me about ice cream. Hold on. I guess I also just see a lot of opportunity in this conversation. I think that just having the initial conversation with the mayor, I think, you know, some things are probably easier to do than others. I think that there's huge potential in just maybe kind of connecting some more of the dots and seeing more things happen, like the project that Ben brought to us last month, that used essentially public art to get us to those broader community goals of, you know, providing safe, you know, pedestrian infrastructure and those sorts of things. And I would just love to see more of those sorts of projects happen that use public art as a tool to get us to these like broad visions that the city already has and is working on. So I'll just leave it there because I think the details of how to get there are complicated. So
yeah, but not insurmountable.
Yeah.
You know, there are enough examples, and I've been pulling them from various official city, county, whatever, public art committees and positions of either their directors or their managers or whatever those things are. But what was really important to me is that everybody provide some opinions and participate in some guidance towards achieving this goal and thoughts on that, and not that we expect any decision to come out of this at night. But you're going to hate this, but I really would like to see maybe a subcommittee of those people that are interested to kind of start helping with the framework of what it could be for us. And then the mayor would like to talk with us. We're going to sit down with him again in a couple of weeks with ideas from the Public Art Committee in fleshing this out on really how it might happen. And then, of course, take it through the budgeting process for this next fiscal year.
If I can add in, just being on the committee for, I don't know, 3.5 years or something, I still feel like I'm brand new. But I think that we need a director, because I think not having one is why there's a heavy turnover on this committee, is that it's hard to get traction on things with an all volunteer board. It's just, people can just quit. You get a little team going, there's a little bit of steam, and then someone just drops out, and you know, you lose the mojo that was there. And you can't fault anyone because it's all volunteer. So unless you have somebody that's got some deep traction and who has management and leadership experience, then I feel like it's going to keep just circulating. So I feel like that there's what's going to happen if we don't do this should be part of the conversation, because I don't think that this committee will get legs and be able to do the big ambitious projects like the 10-year plan was asking for. I think I mean, the biggest thing that this committee has done is the signal boxes, which Kathy has pretty much carried herself for 13 years. I mean, most of the other programs die out because nobody else sticks around.
Well, and I mean, really to that end though, Lisa, I mean, yes, it was meant to be a continuous project, but we've done some pretty amazing things but they were different types of projects, i.e. the Silver Park project. That was, I mean, we're talking 80.
Well, yeah, if you get a big load of money, we're able to spend it, but
Right. Well, but we went out and searched for that, and there are those types of things. But I think, in that kind of, and I know you're talking about this too, but for stability, none of us are here forever. And granted, no director is here forever, but there is something to be said about that leadership role, that continuity role that is constantly working towards something.
Speaking of those meetings,
coordinated a lot of projects. That's what I do. I've been a past museum director. I've been a past or whatever.
I'm thinking of those meetings that we're about to have about the committee. And, every year we have come up with these goals. And how many of those goals have we actually even touched? Like hardly any. So I'm only seeing for the last 3.5 years, but you get earnest people creating goals and then not having the capacity to do too many of them. And that's inherently frustrating, even though good intentions are there, and it's just inherently frustrating. And then that stability would get rid of some of that frustration.
And it's not something that the committee members, again, one of the things that I love about this committee is we are a working committee. So it's not like you get a director and suddenly, I don't have to do anything. Hopefully that would not happen.
No. I'm on other committees. They're all working committees.
Right. So
if it's not that, then those people should be kicked off the committee if they're not.
So
it makes a lot of sense to me to actually have someone who is an established leader, director, someone who understands also how to talk about fundraising, communicate with the community in a way that is really helpful and healthy, as far as not even just sharing common interests, but just someone who can also give a line of direction. That sounds like a wonderful idea. I'm also a newbie, so.
Everyone's input is so appreciated. James, Dennis, Danny. Anybody comments? So would Greg and would somebody like to sit down with me next week and kind of put together some thoughts on directorship and where we think it can move forward, how we think it could move forward, so I can bring it to the next meeting with the mayor?
Were you able to get a job description out of Courtney?
Somewhat. I'll have to go back and take a look. I did ask her for one, and she did send me some stuff.
She did?
I believe she did. I'll have to dig around and find it again.
That would have been nice.
I feel like there might be. I feel like there might be some stuff like that in our bylaws, like what the chair does. So it could be a combination of those two things.
We do have that. And I think, and again, I think it's also between what she said or what Courtney had, which would be nice to see, as well as, we shouldn't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
So, Danny?
I'm happy to have a conversation with you, Kathy, about what this looks like.
Cool, that'd be great.
I don't come with a lot of experience as far as dealing with establishing different sort of leadership positions, but I've been around them on the other side of things. So I also know I think I understand what our community needs and
great.
And what something would look like potentially for a really healthy position of a great path forward.
Cool, great.
I can't get in at this meeting, but I would be able to join in the future. We're about to hire someone who starts full-time in May, and I won't be so underwater after May.
Well, and anything we did, we'd share with the committee. Again, I just think it's so important. That was one of the things that at the end of our meeting with the mayor, I just thought it was extremely important that the committee, this committee, which is so involved, be able to contribute as much as possible to what we would like to see. I mean, everybody does an amazing job. So I love it. In general, positive thoughts towards moving this direction. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs anywhere. Perfect. Yay, thanks, Danny. Thank you, Mr. Dennis. Perfect. So I will be in touch and be CCing Paisley on all of this stuff, and we'll have some get-togethers and some information coming out in the next week or so from everybody. And I'm sorry if it sounds like we're inundating you, but it's exciting. There are a lot of exciting things happening. So, Danny, there was, do we have, before I go there, Danny, there's something I have to remember to tell you, and I can't remember what it is or to ask you. Do we have any announcements, news or upcoming events? I know, Lise, you have an amazing opening, ceramics opening.
Paisley keeps trying to tell us that we have a guest, Diane. But I think people are checking the chat. She's written it twice now.
Oh, it's minute on my screen, and I'm sorry, my eyes are not great.
Paisley, can you tell us about that?
Diane, welcome.
Yeah, I think, oh, there we go.
I'm just visiting. No, nothing to say or do, just visiting.
Well, welcome. You're always welcome.
Thanks, Diane.
All right.
I'm sorry. I have a bad left eye, so I didn't read it. Are there any other announcements?
Go visit the AC Hotel and have one of their fancy drinks and look at some of the local artists. I mean, emerging artist Ashley Mayora has 4 major pieces right at the bar. It was, I feel like it was a coup getting that.
This is the new joint right next to
the old joint.
the
other joint.
Right on the southwest corner.
Behind the Merc.
Yeah, at the corner of Main and Patsy.
Oh, so they're all up. They're up and
running.
And they have some good artwork in there.
And they have a great bar in there, and there's terrific art. It's all abstract, and it has to do with nature and journeys. But it's really stunning.
Cool.
Well, kudos to you for helping.
Are they honoring COVID times?
Are they going to have an opening like they did for the Merc? I mean, I know it's COVID, but that was lovely to see all the artwork.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I think that with COVID, they just separated it out into a couple of small openings. But all Montana residents get, I think a room is like $100 there. So
that's really great.
It's worth just having a little staycation. And if you can, and I don't know how much of a reduction that is, but it's all very cool and modern. And they're going to put a rooftop bar in, which I think it's really going to activate the streets over there, and which will get us some more money for art.
I've always wanted more rooftop bars in this town.
Yes.
And on the other side of art and performance, I do play music with a band, and we're playing with the Zach, or at the Zach this weekend on Saturday, a live performance that's going to be online, and it's a karaoke of lots of public faces. So Kia will be singing with us, and other folks from different bands. So my band is playing the instrumentation and hosting. It's like a live karaoke thing. Anyways, it's streamed through the Zach on Saturday. It should be pretty fun.
Perfect.
Yeah, might be a special surprise bass player from a really large band playing, you
A
know.
national one, perhaps?
Yeah. Yeah.
Recommend?
Anyways, tune into the Zach.
Pot
Yeah,
Sketch
by
is
the
coming up
initials
this
of
weekend.
JA, yeah.
Yeah.
Going to announce real quickly too, you saw that Greg Martin was on our agenda, could not be here. He is still working in, on his commemorative something for the church, the ASC church that was on Phillips. So he's going to try and come next week. So just as part of a general, or next month as part of a general announcement.
I actually have something, sorry.
No, great, Danny.
Kathy is actually wanting to kind of touch base with you offline. So on May 5th, which is the National Day of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Native Women and Girls. So we're planning something. So at YWCA, All Nations, a couple other organizations here in Missoula are planning something. Not really much detail right now, but I know in a previous meeting, the Wilderness something, they're having the film festival at the Roxy, and they were wanting to do like project something on buildings. And I've been wanting to do that for like a long time. I don't know. And so I kind of brought this idea to this planning meeting for this event on May 5th. And I was just wanted to ask about like the permits and getting like clearing for that. I think that they were wanting to project something onto the courthouse down here. I don't know if you could even do that, but yeah. So
Let's touch bases after this and I'll help you in any way I can.
cool. Okay. Yeah. But also just want to let you know that there's going to be some actions going on May 5th. Also another thing, the person that came on earlier, I believe his name is Scott Charlie. That's his name on Facebook. I remember he came to, back when I was a student at UM, I was an executive officer for GAIO, and he came with the same project. I didn't know what it was. I still don't. So I don't know that just yeah. So if you all wanted to look him up, that I believe that's what his name is.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all.
And I have one thing. Paisley and her husband are performing in Schoolhouse Rock at MCT, May 7th, 8th, and 9th, and streamed for another week. That's on chat.
Other community events, Pot Sketches this weekend at the Clay Studio. And then next month, Zach's mini show is going to open, and it's one of the first outdoor events that has planned itself as a live event from February. So they're going to be out at 10 Spoons.
Yeah, which is going to be great. And don't forget Film Festival. We have 2 minutes while International Wildlife Film Festival is taking place. So
yeah, starts tomorrow.
That as well. Thank you all. I very much appreciate all of you attending and your input. It's great. Put your thinking hats on for projects.
Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate it.
With that, the meeting is adjourned at 5:29. So Marty can go on to our next meeting. We are so good. And thanks for getting through everything pretty quickly.
Bye-bye.
Danny, seriously, let's talk. Bye all. Thanks much.